parameters, that is P, V and N, etc. That is from Boyle's rule it is V varies as 1 by P, from Charles rule V varies as T, and from the last, that is Avogadro's rule, V varies as N. Now with respect to these, that is V varies as 1 by P, P varies as T and V varies as N. Now their two parameters are constant in every case, because there are 4 parameters P, V, T and N. Now two parameters are constant. Now when the parameters are altered change, then we have to get such type of equation. So the condition is that when all the parameters are changed, then we get V proportional to Tn by P. V is equal to one proportionality constant K4 Tn by P. Pv equal to K4 Tn. Now K4 later on, yes, R is the proportionality constant. Now later on K4 was replaced by R. R is the proportionality constant, and moreover it is well known on that fact that it is the universal gas constant. R is universal gas constant, and it's having a value which is constant for every gas. Okay. Now this is the one form, that when all the parameters are interchanged, then we get this form. But there is another form, that is how can we prove that, is how to prove PV equal to nRT. Then first of all we have to combine the Boyle's rule and the Charles rule, that is V varies as 1 by P and V varies as T. If we combine these, then we will get the V is proportional to some constant into P by T, and when all the parameters are interchanged, so Tv by P equal to constant, Tv by P equal to constant, V varies as T by P. When all the parameters are changed, then according to proportionality Tv by P equal to constant. So from there T1 V1 by P1 equal to T2 V2 by P2. So this form will work further to solve some problems. This form, that is V1 T1 by P1 equal to V2 T2 by P2. It is the combined form of Boyle's rule and Charles rule. Now this is the combined form, and there is the proportionality constant. If this proportionality constant is K, if we equalize it, then if the proportionality constant is K, then later on the K is proportional to the N. K is proportional to N. Basically it is proportional to the number of molecules, which is ultimately proportional to N, because number of molecules N by N0 having the fixed value for all the gases. So K is ultimately proportional to N. So if we may put here N, okay, so this is the another form to prove the ideal gas equation. So the first method was easier to prove the equation, that is when all the parameters are interchanged, then we will get the ideal gas equation. Now the next form is that calculating the value of universal gas constant, that is what is the unit of R at different units. Okay. So for this, first of all, when pressure is expressed in atmosphere and volume in liter, so calculating value of R. When pressure in bar and volume in liter. Okay. So, when these are there, then we have to calculate the value. Now, pressure is 1 bar, and in 1 bar pressure it is the standardized that the volume is 22.4 liter at 1 bar pressure. Now, PV equal to nRT. So, R equal to PV by NT. So, P1 bar 22.4, N, that is the number of moles. Now, number of moles, that is for 1 mole, and T equal to, that is 1 mole, and T, it is the absolute temperature, that is 273 Kelvin. Now, calculating it, we will get 0.082. Now, the unit, what is the unit? It is liter in, it is bar, it is liter, mole inverse, Kelvin inverse. Liter, mole inverse, Kelvin inverse. Liter, sorry, there is on liter 1 atmosphere, liter atmosphere, mole inverse, Kelvin inverse. It is the value of when pressure is in bar and volume is in liter. So, this is 1 unit. So, in mathematical problem you have to find out in which unit the data is given. If it is given in that unit, that is in the liter or in the bar, then you have to put the value of R as equal to 0.082. Now, what is the value of R in SI unit? Now, to find out the value, we have to put the P equal to, just move to another side, it will be easier if we calculate the value in dynes per square centimeter and the volume in cubic centimeter. So, the pressure in dynes per square centimeter and volume in cubic centimeter. So, this is the 1 unit. Next, pressure in dynes per pressure centimeter, dynes per square centimeter, and the volume is in cubic centimeter, volume in centimeter cube, because in this unit the value of R will come in the form of arg, that is a unit of work. So, one conversion factor is that 10 to the power 7 arg equal to 1 joule. So, okay. So, the using this conversion factor we will convert it to SI unit. So, pressure in dyne centimeter and volume is R. So, R equal to the P. What would be the value of P? P equal to the pressure given by that unit, that is the barometric pressure. So, it is equal to 76 into the density H rho G. H, that is 76 centimeter, rho, that is the density of mercury, and G, that is 981. It is the P. Next one, that is L, that is the volume. Volume, that is 22.4 liter. So, in cubic, that is in centimeter cube, it will be 22,400 centimeter cube. Now, next one, it will be N equal to 1 mole and temperature equal to 273 Kelvin. So, it is centimeter, it is the density, that is dynes per square centimeter. So the unit is into dyne per centimeter square here into mole. Okay. Now just calculate this part. It would be the centimeter square, that is centimeter, dyne centimeter, mole inverse, Kelvin inverse. Now dyne centimeter, it is the force acting per unit area or unit length 1 centimeter, then it is a unit of work. So it is it would be the dyne into centimeter into mole inverse Kelvin inverse. This is the unit, and this numeric factor will be 8.314 into 10 to the power 7. 8.314 into 10 to the power 7. Okay. Now dyne centimeter, it is the another conversion factor, 8.314 into 10 to the power 7. This is arg mole inverse Kelvin inverse. This is the unit in when pressure in dynes per centimeter square and volume in centimeter cube. Cannot be seen. Now you can see. So dyne into centimeter, this is converted to arg, and then mole inverse Kelvin inverse, and there is a conversion factor already written, 10 to the power 7 arg equal to 1 joule. So if we convert it to 8.314 joule mole inverse Kelvin inverse. So this unit become in SI unit. This unit, that is 8.314 joule mole inverse Kelvin inverse, this is the numeric value of R in SI unit. So at the same time in the CGS unit, this is in the CGS unit, CGS, centimeter gram second, and this is the SI unit, but you don't have the CGS unit, so only the SI unit. You can also calculate the value of R indirectly by SI unit by using the P in the form of 101325 Newton meter square, and volume, that is converting it to meter cube, because 1 liter equal to 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube. Okay, so this is the value of R. Questions may come from this, that is calculate the value of R in SI unit or in CGS unit or in liter atmosphere unit. So 0.082, it is in liter atmosphere unit, 8.314 into 10 to the power 7, it is in the CGS unit, and 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse, it is in the SI unit. So important factor is this one and this one. You have to remember the data and to calculate the value of R. This is the calculation of the value of R. Next portion is that what is Dalton's law of partial pressure? Dalton's law of partial pressure. The rules state that if two non-reacting or two or not only two, more than two, maybe the two or more than two non-reacting gases when mixed, then the overall pressure exerted by the mixture of gases will be the sum of the individual pressure, and the form is that if two or more gases which do not react chemically are enclosed in a vessel, the total pressure of the gaseous mixture is equal to the sum of the partial pressure that each gas will exert when enclosed separately in a same vessel at constant temperature. Okay. So, this is that form. So, suppose P is the, so what is the condition here? At constant temperature. So, P is the PA plus PB plus PC. PA, PB, PC is the partial pressure. This is the P total, and PA is the partial pressure. This is given by Dalton, and for this reason it is called as Dalton rules of partial pressure. Now, partial pressure in terms of mole fraction. Partial pressure in terms of mole fraction. So, we have to find out this partial pressure is somehow depend on the mole of the individual constituent. This is the equation in terms of mole fraction. Now, do you know what is mole fraction? Do you know what is mole fraction? Suppose just in a mixture 2 mole nitrogen, 3 mole oxygen and 1 mole hydrogen is mixed. They are non-reacting. Okay. So, what would be the mole fraction of nitrogen? So, mole fraction of nitrogen equal to the number of moles of nitrogen divided by total number of moles or total number of gaseous mole. So, number of moles of nitrogen is equal to 2 divided by 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, that is 6, 2 by 6. This is the mole fraction. You can simplify it, that is 1/3, 1 by 3. It is the mole fraction of nitrogen. Now, calculate mole fraction of hydrogen, that is the number of moles, that is 1 divided by 6. So, 1/6 is the mole fraction. Okay. So, the topic is that partial pressure in terms of mole fraction. We have to find out it. Now, to prove it, we will use the ideal gas equation PA equal to Na, that is the number of moles, and the rest of the part, that is RT by V, but RT by V is constant here, T constant. So, V will also be constant. Okay. So, PA equal to this. So, PB will be equal to NB RT by V. This is for PB. PC, it is NC RT by PC, it is NC RT by V. Now, N, it is depends on that N equal to number of moles. Now, mole equal to the given mass by molecular mass. So, we have to further divide it. So, P total equal to PA plus PB plus PC. Now, I am directly putting the value, that is Na RT by V plus NB RT by V plus NC RT by V. Now, this part is common, RT by V into Na plus NB plus NC, Na plus NB plus NC. Yes, W by M equal to N, given mass by molecular mass. Now, the N, Na plus NB plus NC from ideal gas equation, if it is the total number of moles is N, then we will convert it Na plus NB plus NC equal to N. in the next line we can write this is N, because we have taken the ideal gas equation PV equal to nRT. This is the number of moles in total. So RT into N by V. Now partial pressure, that is the total pressure, this is the P total, and the partial pressure, that is PA. So we have to take the ratio of PA by P, PA by P. Now PA equal to NA RT by V, PA equal to NA RT by V, and P equal to V by nRT. So this part is cancelled out, V is cancels out, so NA by N. So PA by P equal to NA by N. So from this equation, that is NA by N, what is this NA by N? It is the mole fraction, that is X of A. So PA, so from here PA equal to XA into P, PA into X, P A equal to XA into P. So this part we have to derive, that is the partial pressure equal to mole fraction into total pressure. In the theoretical form we can write it that partial pressure equal to mole fraction into total pressure. It is the theoretical form. You have to remember it. Now, what is the application of this rule? What is the application of this rule? The application of this rule is on, first of all, in the suppose in the preparation of gases. In the preparation of gases, you know that some gases like hydrogen and are stored by the displacement of water molecules. By displacing the water molecule, because these are lighter than water. Okay. So this part contains the vapor, that is the water vapor plus gas, water vapor plus gas. So what is the pressure of the gas? From there we will calculate the mass of the gas produced, because there is the direct relation from pressure to convert it to mole fraction. It is one. Next one is in the process of steam distillation for the separation of liquids, because as we know that the mole fraction will be greater, its percentage in the pressure form, that is in the partial pressure, will also be greater, because they are directly related with each another. So in the preparation of gases, that is to calculate the how volume or what amount of gases is produced, and also in the steam distillation we use such type of equation, that is where the mole fraction, that is the mass of the gas, and also the pressure is directly related. Okay. So today up to this. On the next class I will discuss the next topic. Yes.